Good evening, Fundis. Fundis Patrick, are you there? Right. Fundis, can you hear me? I just want to make sure that I can be heard, that you can hear what I am saying, so that we can, even when I'm recording this, I know that people can hear me. Fundis, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, all right. I just wanted to know that you can hear me. That's okay. So that when we are now proceeding with this, we will be okay. All right. Okay. I can see some more people are coming through. All right. That is good. All right. I think maybe we can.
Sorry, Doc. The volume is so low, Doc.
Oh, the volume is low. You can't hear.
Yes, I can't hear it clearly.
All right. Okay. Let me see what I can do. All right. Let me fetch my phone. Right. All right. How about now? Can you hear me clearly now? Am I audible clearly now?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So that's good. Welcome. So I think we can start. Anyone who is going to come through, they will find us on the way. But I am also recording this, and I will give the recording to the administrator who can distribute to all of you guys. So the reason why we are having this session is because the exam was not that much okay. So I've decided to take you through and revise it a little bit with you guys. And then from there, as we said, we are going to write the exam again on Saturday after the classes, so that we increase the marks. So you are going to be writing the same exam, but I just wanted to take you through and explain some of the issues that are here. So I'm literally just going to start, and I'm going to be speaking a little bit fast so that we manage to finish everything on time. So question number one, how do I study? So what we are doing here is looking at these two pictures, and then we answer the following questions. So we have study area A and study area B. And the first question there is saying study area A is better, is the better area to study. From the picture. Identify four reasons.
I'm struggling to hear you.
You are struggling to hear me again.
Doc.
All right. If you can't hear me, let me see what else I can do. Because if this is not working, let me try that. And now, is it clearer?
Yes, it's clearer to me.
All right. Pastor Patrick, can you hear me, or are you still struggling?
Yes, at least I can hear you now.
You can hear me now. All right. That's okay. So, study area A is better, is the better area to study. Then from the picture, identify 4 reasons for this statement. So what we are looking at are statements that show that study area A is better. So first thing that we are seeing there, it is minimal distractions, because there isn't a phone over there. It is also not cluttered, so it is not messy. It's neat, it is tidy. It has a light source there because we can see the window. So there is fresh air that comes through. It also has a comfortable chair that is there. It has a big enough desk for you to be able to do your work. And yeah, basically all of those are the answers that we are looking for that particular part over there. The second question there says, name one way in which area A can be improved. Now, here we are also looking for a number of answers. So for example, just by looking at the study area, we can add a lamp so that at night it is conducive for studying at night. We can also add a clock so that it helps the person that is studying. We can also add a pin board right on the wall, so that if a person is a visual learner, they can stick the things that they are studying. And we can also put a bit of stationery, pens, pencils, highlighters, rulers, scissors. All of those things will help a person to study. The third question, study area B is not the best area to study in. Support this statement with a specific and obvious reason from the picture. So you can literally pick any reason you want. So there are way too many distractions. There is a phone there. It is messy. There are way too many things that are there. We have that tennis ball and the racket. All of those things can be distractions. And there is also a puzzle book that is there, a crossword puzzle. All of that are distractions. So it will distract us from what we are trying to accomplish. And then identify one item from study B that can be of great use to students with a kinesthetic, visual, and/or oral learning style. So when we talk about kinesthetic, we are talking about people that learn by actually holding things and touching things. And visual learners are people that learn by seeing diagrams or seeing pictures. And so here we can see the flashcards that are there. They can satisfy everything from kinesthetic, visual, or oral. So it is those flashcards, that is what we are looking for there. And then we go to the second question. Correctly name and the classification system that is used in libraries. So, sorry. So these, so the classification system that we use, if you remember correctly, when we were even going to the library, it's the Dewey Decimal System, DEWY, the Dewey Decimal System. That is the classification that is used in libraries. And this one here, the second question of question 2, this one gave people a bit of a challenge because they failed to interpret what the question was looking for. So it says the following are examples of research sources: abstract textbooks, surveys, encyclopedias, diaries. And then 2.2.1, the above resources can be classified as primary, secondary, and tertiary sources. Give a short definition of each. The definition that we are looking for is not for the abstract textbook surveys. It is for primary, secondary, and tertiary sources. So that is what we are looking for there. And when we talk about primary sources, we are looking at original material on which other research can be based. So what we have here as the original materials is the diaries and surveys. So these diaries and surveys, these constitute the primary sources. And when we talk about secondary sources, we are talking about sources that describe or analyze primary sources. And so what we have are textbooks and encyclopedias, because these textbooks tend to analyze information that is coming from surveys and from diaries. And then tertiary sources, these are used to organize and locate secondary and primary sources. And the best example that we have there is the abstract. So what this question is looking for is the definition of primary, secondary, and tertiary sources. And then you give examples. And then 2.3, when doing internet research, you can use special characters to assist in your search. Explain how the following special characters will assist in your internet search. Include an example for each. Now, that first one, that star or asterisk, that one, we use it when you are looking for a word that can have multiple spellings or different spellings. So, for example, the word behavior. So we can spell behavior BEHAVIOUR or just VIOR without the U. So in order for you to account for both types of spellings, you use that star. So you then spell behavior BEHAVI star R. So that is what we use, that one. It's called the wild card, and it represents a number of characters that can be used in the spelling of a word. And the quotation marks there, those ones, we use them if we are looking for an exact word or an article that contains an exact word. So we put that word or that phrase in brackets, and then we will be given articles that contain within the body of the work that particular statement. And then when it comes to or, we use that if we want our searches to include either or. So for example, if you say James Smith, we are saying we need to look for articles that contain the name James or the name Smith. So rather than looking for articles that have James only, and then we will start again looking for articles with Smith only, you can put James or Smith, and then it can provide you with answers for both at the same time. And the last question in question 4, the ability to paraphrase is an acquired skill that proves that the student understands the content he has read in a research source. Then we are asked to list 5 steps to apply when you are paraphrasing. So these are the things that we will be looking for. Firstly, read the original text until you grasp its meaning, and then you set it aside. From there, you need to use your memory to write down the main points or concepts that you are remembering, and make sure that you do not copy the text verbatim. Then from there, you change the structure of the text by varying the opening and changing the order of sentences, lengthening or shortening these sentences. So that third point, once again, you have to change the structure of the text. So what we mean by this is when you are writing down your main points, you can write them down from memory exactly as they are in the text. But what we want you to do is to reorganize those statements so that what you have written down is not an exact copy or verbatim, word for word, of the book or paragraph that you were reading. Then the fourth thing, you have to replace keywords within the sentences with synonyms or phrases with similar meanings, because the entire purpose of paraphrasing is for you to give the same meaning even though you are using different words. that is showing your own understanding. So those keywords, you have to replace them with words that also mean similar things. And then lastly, the fifth thing, you have to check your notes against the original to ensure that you have not accidentally plagiarized. And by plagiarizing, we mean you have not copied directly as it is without referencing. So these are the 5 steps that we will be looking for. And then we get to question 3. So with question 3, it says the following are Macmillan's 5 steps of research, but are given in the wrong order. So show the correct order by writing only the number of the sentence in the correct order. So meaning that all of these 5 sentences are the correct answers, but you have to put them in the right order. So you need to figure out which statement comes in first. So the first sentence there would be sentence number 5. The researcher desires an answer to the question. And then the second statement is statement number 1. The methods used might be formal or informal, quantitative or qualitative, superficial or detailed, literary or non-literary. And then the third statement is statement number 4. The results are at first raw results. And then the fourth statement is statement number 2. The interpretation involves carefully thinking about the results, comparing them to each other and to other information, and evaluating their accuracy and validity. And last but not least, it's statement 3, which says the interpreted results need to be considered in relation to the original question so that conclusions can be made with their corresponding implications and recommendations. So the order once again is 5, 1, 4, 2, 3. So this is what we are looking for. And then here, where it says question 3.2, when you do research, you take notes based on your research. You, however, also write memos when you study, discuss notes and memos in a table under the following headings. So what this means is you are going to draw a table, and I just want to see here if I can draw a table for you guys and see if you might be able to see it. All right. No, unfortunately, I can't, but let me try and explain what the table needs to look like. So you draw a table where there are 2 sides. On the one side, we have notes. On the other side, we have memos. And then under those two, we write definition. So you then give us the definition for notes, and then you also give us a definition for memos. So notes, the definition, taking notes during research, that is, so the notes that you take during research, those ideas that you put down that are coming from the research, the main points that you're putting down, those are what notes are. And a memo, it is written to yourself during speaking. So, for instance, when you are taking down your notes, you can write another memo to yourself, reminding yourself maybe to check something or to remember to look for the definition of this keyword that you don't quite understand. So when we talk about memos, we are talking about the thing that you write to yourself. But when we are talking about notes, these are the things that you are writing about the actual research. And then from there, you have another heading, which is explanation. And when we talk about explanation, you are now explaining what the notes are. And so I have been explaining. You just need to remember to take extensive notes, because whenever you are conducting research, it's difficult to know what you might need when you are actually doing the analysis. So write down everything that you think is necessary. And then when it comes to memos, you need to write a note to yourself that reminds you of a thought that comes to you during your note taking. So for example, as I was saying, you can remind yourself to look up a particular word, or maybe if what you are reading reminds you of another concept, you should write yourself a memo. Remember to look up this concept in connection with this particular thing. So that is the kind of explanation that we are looking for. All right. And then examples. Examples are easy. You can literally then pick out any example. So as I was explaining to you now, I was actually giving you examples of memos and examples of notes. Right. Then the fourth question there, this fourth one, the only thing that I can say is you need to go to the raw guide. So if you go to the raw guide, it will explain to you how you need to write down this reference, because it's difficult for me to explain it here. But these are 10 marks that are quite easy for you to get. So you need to go to the raw guide. I know you still have it, but in the event that you don't, I'm also going to send an electronic copy to the administrator, and she's going to give it to you. You need to look it up, because this question is 10 marks. And if you just write down exactly as it is supposed to be, then you get your easy 10 marks. Right. So now we go to question 5. So question 5, we are looking at a paragraph that has been written, and that paragraph has notes. And so it has numbers. So the sentences have been numbered. And when we go into the questions themselves, they are asking us information concerning those sentences that are in that paragraph. So 5.1, what type of sentence is sentence 1? So sentence 1, if you remember correctly, we said this is the topic sentence. And the topic sentence summarizes what is going to be coming in the paragraph, or a topic sentence highlights the main idea that is going to be contained in the paragraph. And then we go to 5.2. the sentence type mentioned in question 5.1 is specific characteristics. Name and explain any two of the characteristics. So there are a number of characteristics that you can pick out there. So for example, the topic sentence controls or guides the whole paragraph. So this is where I was saying that we get an understanding of the main idea or contained within the paragraph. And so the reader knows the paragraph will deal with how to write a good paragraph because we are giving examples from what is there. So sentence 1 says, knowing how to write a paragraph is incredibly important. So we know automatically that this entire paragraph is going to be focusing on how to write a good paragraph. All right. And then from there, we can also see that it is not a general, so it is not a general fact accepted by most people as the truth. So the sentence is a statement and not a declaration of truth. Knowing how to write a paragraph is incredibly important. So the way that it has been written, it is a statement. And it is also specific because it is honing down, it is specifying the thing that we need to know about that particular paragraph. It has controlling ideas. We have already spoken about that. So because it is a controlling statement, we expect to find within that paragraph only ideas that show why it is important to write good paragraphs. So now we go to 5.3. What type of sentence is 2 to 4? So 2 to 4, these are the supporting sentences, or you can even call them the body of the paragraph. Because, all right, no, let me not say that now. So 5.3, these are supporting sentences or the body of the paragraph. 5.4, the sentence type mentioned in 5.3, which is sentence 2 to 4, can be identified as a specific kind based on the information it provides. What kind of answer does sentence 3 provide? So sentence 3 is saying there is a specific structure that you have to follow when you are writing a paragraph. So it is providing a fact. So it is a fact that you have to follow a particular structure. It is also providing guidance or providing the technical know-how of how to do something. All right. And then what type of sentence is sentence 5? So sentence 5 is the concluding statement. And sentence 5 says, through writing good paragraphs, a person can communicate a lot better through their writing. And question 5.6 then asks, what is the function of sentence 5? So sentence 5, you can say it summarizes the paragraph, or you can say it restates the main idea. So that is what sentence 5 is doing. Right. And then we come to yet another easy question that you are supposed to get full marks on. because question 6 is asking you to schedule your time. So in scheduling your time, you know you are operating from 24 hours in a day. So calculate the correct available hours for each day of the week. Let me see. Yes, we do have it. So if you're asked to calculate the correct available hours, literally here, it's 24 minus 8, and you put your 16 there. You are done. And here, 24 minus 7, that is 17. You just put in your 17 hours. So for Sunday, Monday, and Saturday, where 8 hours of sleep time, the answer is always 16. And for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the answer is 17. So that one is an easy one to calculate. Then everything now that comes after. So every day, put in your, let me do this. So every day you now have to put in your personal devotion time, your time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, then your time for morning and evening routine. So what we are saying is you yourself, how much time do you spend on your morning devotion? And if you say you spend an hour, you just write morning devotion 1 hour, and total time left would be 15 hours. Because remember, after you have slept for 8 hours, we are saying you are left with 16. And from those 16, if you devote 1 hour to devotion, you are left with 15. And if you devote an hour to breakfast, an hour to lunch, and an hour to dinner, that is 3 more hours that are being taken from that 15 that we had left, meaning that you are left with 12 hours. And then from there, your morning and evening routine. So this includes all of the daily work that you do. So remember, you are now left with about 12 hours. So maybe you have about 3 or 4 hours in the morning and 5 or 6 hours in the evening, whatever it is. And you also need to account for family time. So some of that time is going to go to family time. So we just need to see how you are breaking down your day right up until social time, personal time, your family time, because you need to have family time. You need to have personal time. You also need to have social time. You need to prepare for classes. You need to work on your assignments. So you just keep putting in all of that time and deducting, showing us what you have left. And at the end of each day, you are supposed to be left with 0 hours, meaning that you have utilized all of your time. So here, the reason why I'm saying with question 6, you get easy marks is because you are the one telling us your routine. So there is no one correct answer that I can say, but it is coming from you. So when you get to 6.1, right, that says calculate the correct available hours of each day of the week. 6.1 is found here. Let me do this. So it is found here. All of this. So you have to put your answers here. So that is 6.1. You are just calculating the number of hours that are there. 6.2 says you have to put in time for personal devotion. So you will come here to this block here. That is where you are going to write your 6.2 A, B, and C. So how much time are you devoting for personal devotion? How much time are you devoting to eating your breakfast? You tell us how many hours your lunch, how many hours your dinner, how many hours, and your morning and evening routine, how many hours. You put that there. And then 6.3 says, on Sunday, book time for church, family time, and reading. So there on Sunday, you are supposed to then tell us in this block here, you are then supposed to tell us how much time do you devote to church? How much time do you spend with your family? And how much time do you spend reading? And this time has to be realistic, and it needs to include travel time going to church. So when we say how much time do you spend at church, don't say 1 hour, because that is the length of your service. You should say rather, maybe, for example, 2 hours, because it's going to take you 30 minutes to drive to church, and then you have your 1 hour service and another 30 minutes to drive back home. So you need to be realistic, but it is entirely up to you. And then 6.4 says, on Tuesday to Thursday, class time. So Tuesday to Thursday, you have class time. So how much time do you spend studying at class? So also include travel time to go to class, as well as the amount of time that you can spend at school, and then the time it takes to go home. And then thereafter, on Monday to Saturday, preparation for classes. So Monday to Saturday, preparation for classes. How much time do you devote to preparing for class? Do you read 2 hours a day? Do you read an hour a day? Do you read 30 minutes a day? But bearing in mind that whatever you are putting down for this column for Monday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever, you are deducting and showing us what is left by the time you finish each question. And then 6.6 asks, schedule time for family. So this is now throughout and not just on Sunday, throughout Monday to Saturday. How much time do you devote to family? How much time is your own personal time? How much time is social time? And by social time, you are not only just spending time with your family, but you are maybe spending time with your relatives, extended family there, or your community work where you go out and you do your outreach, or if this is where you also do your pastoral work, visiting your flock. All of that is considered a social time. So this question here, question 6, is quite easy, because you are the one who is just telling us, and then you get your full marks. So that is what we are looking for there. And then with question 7, we are going to be doing multiple choice. All right. So multiple choice, and you are only supposed to give us the correct answer. So 7.1, the 5 errors of not taking in the correct order. And the correct order there is C. So you record, you reduce, you recite, you reflect, and you review. So you record everything that is important that you would have come across. Then you reduce, you cut down on the amount of words that you are writing, as well as merging together points that are going together. And then you need to recite, you need to learn that information. And then you need to reflect, what does that information tell us? What are the implications? And then when we say review, this is where you take the notes that you have written and all of the memos you have told yourself, and then you compare with what you were actually reading in the first place. Does your notes reflect the true essence of the information that you are getting from the reading? Then 7.2, the 5 hours of note-taking during the reflect stage. And so the correct answer there is C as well. So you think about the content and add your own opinions and ideas to notes. So that is what you are doing as you are reflecting. All right. And then 7.3, what note-taking system did we study? So it was B, the Cornell note-taking system. So that is the system that we studied about, and it is there in the study guide. 7.4, when you use the mind map technique to study, you use, and the correct answer is D. None of the above is correct. So when we actually use the mind map technique to study, we are actually drawing. That is what we are doing. So as we are drawing, we are actually giving and the technical term is a pictorial representation of the ideas. We need to see the idea as a picture in our mind's eye. So the correct answer there is D. And 7.5, it says the 5 steps of the SQ3R reading technique in the correct order are, and the correct answer is A. So 7.5 A.
I'm sorry, Doc.
Yes.
On 7.4, we said it's E or D.
D.
D for donkey.
D for donkey.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. All right. And for 7.6, the correct answer, so 7.5, the correct answer is A. And for 7.6, in the SQ3R reading technique in the question stage, the correct answer is D. All of the above are correct. So 7.6 is D. And then 7.7, a critical reader engages him or herself with the content. So the correct answer is A. The correct answer is A. And then we go to question number 8, where we are looking at memory improvement. The first question there, what is verbatim memory, and provide an example. So with verbatim, we have already used this word before. So by verbatim, we are talking about remembering content exactly as it is. So in other words, verbatim memory is word for word memory. And an example of where you can use verbatim memory is when we are outlining the steps. So for example, when we look at question 7.5, this requires us to have the verbatim memory because we need to understand which step comes first and which one comes second, which one comes third. So anything that deals with steps or a list or characteristics, we need to know them verbatim. All right. And then 5.2, find the correct definition in column B of the terminology in column A. Write down only the letter and the numbers. All right. So this one here, for A, stress, it is, so stress that we have here corresponds to this one here. Manage it by focusing on one task at a time. So the idea here is finding the not just the correct, but the best fit for what we have there. So when we talk about stress, you need to manage it by focusing on one task at a time. And when it comes to B, this one here that says acronym, the answer is this one here. New word made up of first letters of words. So that is what an acronym is. So for example, SAPS, SAPS, it is an acronym that is a new word that is being made up by the first letters of the words. So South African Police Service, that is what it means. So SAPS is the acronym. And for C, method of loci, it is this one here. Place items to remember in a familiar location. So method of loci, loci as a word actually means place, or it means location. So method of loci or method of location, we are just placing items to remember in a familiar location. So for example, I know I put my keys in the bowl by the door. So in that instance, every time I look for my keys, the first place I look is that familiar location. And when we get to D, D is number 2. So healthy lifestyle, it improves memory. So D is 2. And then E is 8, attending, to not give in to distractions while studying. All right. And then F, study breaks. F is 6. Taken at a logical break in content. So you don't take a break in between or in the middle of a sentence or in the middle of a section, but you take breaks at the end of a section so that it doesn't break your concentration. All right. And so from there, we get to the last question, which is 8.3. Write down the steps in analyzing a multiple choice question in the correct order. So in the correct order, the first thing you do, because remember, this is multiple choice. The first thing you do is to tick the answers that you are sure are incorrect. Because whenever you are writing multiple choice questions, you are always going to get answers that are close to what the correct answer is, and also other answers that are completely wrong. So first of all, start by eliminating all of the answers that you know are wrong. And then tick all the answers that sound correct. So when you initially read anything that sounds correct to you, tick that. And then from there, rule out all the answers that contain incorrect words or options. So just because they sound correct does not always mean they contain correct words. So cross out those ones that contain incorrect words. And then you also cross out answers that omit the required words. And whatever you are left with, you then have to choose the best remaining answer. So those 5 steps, once again, the first one, tick the answers you are sure are incorrect, or cross out the answers you know are incorrect. And then you tick the answers that sound correct. And after we've ticked answers that sound correct, now we begin to analyze which of the remaining answers contain incorrect words. And then we cross those out. And then number 4, we rule out all of the answers that omit the required words. So the answers that you know from your memory, when we ask this, you know the answer to that thing, but because there are multiple choices, they tend to be confusing. So in the 4th instance, rule out anything that omits the words that you know need to be there. And then only after you've done those 4 things, you do the last one, which is you select the best remaining answer. So of all the answers that are now left, which one do you think is the best? So those are the 5 steps. So this is the exam, and this is what we were looking for. And when it comes to our rewrite on Saturday, these are some of the things that we are going to be looking for. But bear in mind, you're not going to be using, what do you call this? You're not going to go in with answers written already. So you are going to study this. You can watch and rewatch the video in order for you to be able to write down, as you are doing your studying now, all of the correct responses. And then on Saturday, we are going to be testing your memory, your ability to remember the correct things. And we are hoping that this gives you an opportunity to boost your marks. So I know that there are some people that came in a little bit late. Don't worry, you will get access to the recording so that you can also see the things that you missed. Is this making sense to you guys?
Yes, Doc. Really, it does making sense.
Yes.
All
Yes.
right. Then the other thing, because I know it goes without saying, because I made it a point that I don't also publicize that, you know, these 5 people, you have done this, and therefore, so nobody needs to know.
Okay.
If you
Yes.
hire people to know that, that's your business. But from my end, I need to maintain confidentiality of my students' progress. So
Yes.
with you guys, this is us. This belongs to us.
Yes. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. No. Yeah. No. We I think we are matured to take this highly confidential.
All
Yes.
right. No,
Yeah. We
thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much. And Pastor Patrick, I'm very happy that you were able to make it. I'm going to now download the video and I will send it to you guys so that you can also watch it on your phones or even on your computers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thanks, Doc. Thanks, Doc.
Sure thing. Thank you very, very much. Have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful evening.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Right.
And thanks
Sure.
to my fellow classmates also for supporting each other. Thank you.
Oh,
Thank you.
definitely.
You.
Definitely.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.